What do a financial advisor and podiatrist have in common? This podcast. Welcome to a show that will offer business and medical discussions with a purpose, focused on you, the podiatrist with a practice. Your hosts, Greg Hardy and Dr. Andrew Schneider, are no strangers to running a successful business. I'm Patrice Sikora. So, Greg, Andrew, how did you two meet, for heaven's sakes, and where did the idea of a podcast begin? Greg, why don't you start?
Well, we met at the AAPPM conference last year, and I had for a number of years had a business coach that encouraged me to get into podcasting, and it would be a good way to continue to be a thought leader for financial planning. And when I met Dr. Schneider, Andrew, last year at the conference, we had kicked it off and had some conversations, and he too had some experience in the past with doing some podcasting and wanted to take it to the next level. And we started having conversations about how exactly we could make it happen and how it could benefit the association, the AAPPM association overall, and podiatrists in their practices.
Andrew?
Yeah, I'm president of the AAPPM, which is the American Academy of Podiatric Practice Management. And I'm in private practice for almost 30 years in Houston, Texas. So the whole mission of the AAPPM is to educate our members to be able to practice well, to treat our patients well, but also successfully and profitably, run a profitable business. And that's an area of medicine that most doctors come out of school not knowing how to do. So that's why I love the Academy and why I got so involved with it. And now I'm president. And a few years ago, we had the idea to start a podcast, but we recorded some and it just didn't work out. So when Greg approached me with this opportunity and this idea, I thought it was a great extension of what we do, because we're all about education. We're all about giving knowledge to our members to enable them to have the most successful practices possible. And with Greg here, we'll be able to work on, their financial profitability and their retirement planning and make sure that it carries through beyond the practice to their individual lives.
Do you find that a lot of doctors listen to podcasts?
I think everyone listens to podcasts now. I think it's become, it's essentially the new radio. It's no matter what you're looking for, there are many podcasts about that. It's just finding the right one and finding the one that resonates with you. And I think that this is going to be a unique podcast, with Greg and I, approaching the medical and practice side from my side and approaching the financial side from Greg's expertise.
And you just took my next question. Greg, what do you bring to the podcast?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I think there's many things that overlap in financial services and with a medical practice. And the more I got to understand the background of podiatrists that were members of the AAPPM, most of them owning their own individual practices, there's a lot of similarities, and some of the things that they may be taught in medical school are not some of the financial side or the business side of things. And we help quite a few business owners in our practice today, or in our firm today, and so there's just a lot of overlap, whether it's business planning, marketing, the financials, anything that comes into play. Knowing how to run a successful business, you may be a great chef. That doesn't necessarily mean that you know how to run a restaurant. There's a lot of stuff that goes into being a business owner. And that's why we're here to have those conversations and continue to share ideas.
Are you going to tackle your topics from a basic level? I mean, do any of the doctors need to have any kind of business background?
I don't think so. I think that we're going to pretty much give the nuts and bolts of what to do. And, when we approach things from a medical standpoint, it's going to really start from the basics and let people walk through it and give them a good understanding of what they should do and why they should do it, in terms of how to tailor their practice to the way they want to be able to practice successfully. From a business standpoint, again, we don't get any of this in medical school. So we're going to start. I think it's going to be pretty basic, but I think everyone will get something from it, whether they're coming in with no knowledge or coming in with thinking they have a good knowledge. I think they'll get a lot out of this podcast.
Tell me some of the topics that you hope to tackle.
Well, from a practice management standpoint, we're going to talk about technology. We're going to talk about AI. We're going to talk about some human resources, best practices. And we're also going to talk about maybe marketing or growth and, how to design a business plan to be profitable. I'll leave the medical side of the stuff over to Andrew because that's his wheelhouse. So, Andrew, I know you have some specific topics that we've put together for the content, and if you want to share those.
Yeah, it's, again, there's a lot of overlap, like Greg said. So, marketing's a big area and AI is huge in every area, but also specific to medical practice. There are a lot of new treatments that are available that are fairly profitable for podiatrists to take on. So I like to bring those in and make sure that people know about them and know how to do it in a compliant way. And ultimately they'll be able to profit from it and while treating their patients in an appropriate way.
I assume you will be having some guests.
We're gonna have a good number of guests. We're gonna start off, I think, just easing in with just the two of us, get our feet wet, but then we're going to have a good group of guests. I'm proud that at the AAPPM we have a endless number of experts in all sorts of different topics, from attorneys to marketing experts to experts in durable medical equipment, experts in orthotics and biomechanics. And so when we're approaching a topic that involves that, we're not going to be shy to realize that there are people who are more qualified than us to give the full information. So we'll be able to call on those people and have them as guests.
You have an entire network there already.
We have a whole network.
Yeah. Greg, how about on your side?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't profess to know everything. We are very resourceful, but we also know when we need to lean on others that may have more of an expertise with whatever relationship that we've got ongoing with clients or people that we're working with. It takes a team, and I'm looking forward to exploring those other networks and bringing them on and being able to peel back the layers of the onion and dig a little deeper into those conversations with each of those guests.
Is there anything unique about the perspective you guys are bringing? I mean, they sound like they're very solid, but is there something unique that people can look forward to?
Having been in private practice, I'm still the only doctor in my practice, which is becoming more and more rare as the years go on. But there are still people every day, every year, opening their own practices, hanging out a shingle and praying that it's going to work. So I want to make sure that those people are supported and know that they can succeed. And I have great success stories from people from the academy who came up through the academy, people who were residents of mine who hung out a shingle and are super successful now. And I think their stories are going to be inspiring. And I think that they will bring another element to this podcast, and to realize that there's not just one way to practice. A lot of times podiatry is just pigeonholed right now as surgery. The schools talk a lot about surgery, but there's a lot outside of surgery. While that is a component of it, there's a lot outside of surgery that that makes a well-rounded practice, and that's what we're looking for, is well-rounded.
All right, Greg.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of fun on the podcast. I think it's going to be a little different than some of the other podcasts that may be out there in regards to that are focused more just on procedures or just the medical side of podiatric medicine. And running a business is difficult, especially just hanging up a shingle, like Andrew mentioned, and just starting off. And so there needs to be support. There is support with the association, but this is a great way for us to be able to communicate some of those things so people can learn about this at their time, whenever it is, whether they're at the gym or taking a walk or driving somewhere. They can be able to learn some of this, some of these topics or some of this knowledge when they see fit.
Andrew, when you started out, you didn't have any podcasts.
No.
What tell us about those early years?
Well, I bought an existing practice. So I kind of came in the not the easy way, but the easier way than just hanging out a shingle. I took over an existing practice that was existing for a number of years, and I retained I'd say about 85% of the patient base that they had. So it was learning to communicate appropriately, learning how to explain to my patients what's going on. And that's the feedback I get from my patients and why they come to me and why they come from reasonably far distances. I'm in Houston, and I had someone today from Dallas who drove in to see me. And it's because I communicate. And that's, I think, a big part of this podcast is we're communicating with our colleagues because we want to help them improve. We want to help make sure that they have the tools they need to be better. In my practice, I have a YouTube channel for my practice, and that's how a lot of people find me in the office. And again, that wasn't there when I first started, but it's become a huge boon to me because, again, I'm communicating the issues people have with their feet that they don't even realize that there's necessarily a treatment for. And I think we're going to be communicating similarly to our colleagues on this podcast.
All right. Greg, do you focus on podiatrists?
Yeah, that's a great question. Some of the relationships that I've had in the past have been with other medical professionals, dentists, chiropractors, and things of that sort. We've had a long relationship with the AAPPM, and so we are focusing more and more of our general practice and insight to providing guidance just for podiatrists overall.
Well, gentlemen, is there something we haven't covered here that you want to make sure we do in this very first episode? Don't everybody speak at once.
We're just kicking things off. We're looking forward to having a good time. I'm really excited that we're here. We've been working on this for a while, and I'm just looking forward to spending the time together and continuing to share thought leadership across the board with anybody that's currently with the AAPPM or not, and just looking for support out there as a individual practitioner or a podiatrist owner.
All right, Andrew, how will people be able to reach you?
So the best way to engage to us is we'll leave a comment wherever you're watching this podcast or listening to this podcast. We also have an email address, entrepreneurialpodiatrist@gmail.com, where you can also submit questions and engage with us. All
right, fantastic. Well, folks, you've heard the first episode of the Entrepreneurial Podiatrist. We hope you will like, follow, and share this podcast. We look forward to seeing you again, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you for listening to the Entrepreneurial Podiatrist podcast. Click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Visit our website at aappm.org or aappm401k.com. You'll find all our social media links in the episode summary. We'd love to connect.